here is a picture of you on England duty, I think.
Goodness, that is going to be early 80s. I'll see Robbo being treated by Fred Street. Whether Brian was struggling to be fit, there were a couple of games where he didn't actually make it, and I came in to replace him in the middle of midfield. Even to this day, any European nights are very special nights here at White Hart Lane, for the players and for the supporters. It seems to create its own atmosphere, which you can't seem to create any other game. And of course, against Anderlecht in the final, we came here, and it was a very, very, very tough game. They had a very good squad at the time. I was struggling because in the February I developed a hernia, so I had to have a hernia operation straight after this game. But I was brought in, and I managed to play, I think, for about 80 minutes in the game before I was struggling too much. I had to be replaced. But again, it was one of those occasions where it could have gone either way, and we were 1-0 down, and unfortunately Graham Roberts equalised to keep us in the game. It's gone to extra time, and nobody could break the deadlock, and it went to penalties. And penalties, I'm not a great lover of penalties, deciding a match, but of course when it goes in your favour, it's very different. It was my first trophy for the club. Tony Parks was remarkable in goal in the penalty shootout. I remember I was standing on the halfway line with the rest of the players, and he's made the final save. And I think I was not a player who was known for my pace, but I think I was the first player to reach Tony after he made that save. So no, it was an incredible occasion. And I got some great pictures at home of myself, walking around with some of the players, lifting the trophy. So no, it was my first cup for the club, my first trophy I'd achieved with Tottenham, and it was a magnificent night. I remember after the game, we all went at the front of the stadium here at White Hart Lane. There's lots of buildings, and went to the top of one of the buildings, and there's some big windows there that were all opened. And after the match, we'd gone there, and the whole of the Tottenham High Road was just filled with Spurs supporters. Must have been there for about half an hour, showing off the cup that night, and it was a great memory. It was a strange feeling, because we knew that Keith was going to be leaving the club. It was about the time when sort of the turnaround from sort of footballers we traditionally know it to suddenly sort of moving into the more of the business arena, and I felt that Keith was just at that era, and Keith was a very proud manager, and a very honest manager. And he felt that he still wanted to have control over everything he had control of in the past. I think things were starting to turn, and he felt that he actually didn't want to be part of that. And I think he felt it. I've spoken to Keith numerous times afterwards about it, and I think it was very sad for the players, because a huge momentous UEFA Cup victory, and then obviously on the downside we knew that Keith BURKINSHAW was leaving the club. I mean, amazing that your last game in charge of the club is going to be the UEFA Cup victory. And in extra time, I think it was Lloyd McGrath broke down our left-hand side. So I've had to come across on the left-hand side, defensive position, to try and block the cross. So he's gone to cross the ball into the box. I've put my leg up to block the cross. 99 times out of 100, the ball would hit my leg and go out for a corner, or hit my leg and just roll up to Ray Clements for him to pick up, or fall at my feet for me to clear. On this one small occasion, it hit the top of my knee, and as I've turned as it hit my knee, I could see it was going to loop over Ray Clements into the far corner. Ray did everything he could to get to it, he couldn't get to it, and the ball just fell into the far corner of the net. And huge disappointment for us. No matter how we tried to turn it around after that, Coventry saw the game out and beat us 3-2. It was our first ever FA Cup final defeat, my first FA Cup final for the club, and so no, everyone was hugely disappointed. But yeah, it's what can you do about it? As I said, 9 times out of 100 the ball perhaps would have just fallen for me to clear. I'd have felt worse if I'd had the ball at my feet and and just kicked the ball back to Ray and chipped over his head, or But it was trying to make a case for myself here. So it was a deflection. You tried your best and it got a deflection. It lost us the cup final. As the ball wasn't going towards the goal, obviously it wasn't credit to anybody else but myself because I changed the flight of the ball. But on the other side, of course, I'm an absolute legend in the Midlands. Free food and drink for life. 1991, the semi-final against Arsenal. It was all being built up. Arsenal were the odds-on favourites. They'd won the championship. They were the team in form. We weren't. We hadn't had a great season. Paul Gascoigne. If there's one player that it's impossible in football. If there was one player that could single-handedly get you to a cup final, it was Paul Gascoigne that season. I thought that was probably Paul's best year in football. He was magnificent for us that season. If a game was going against you, he could grab the game by the scruff of the neck and turn it your way. So we had a very strong side. Gary Lineker up front, and we really were a team on our day that could beat anybody. But over a period of games, consistency-wise, we did not have that continuity that season. And of course, a one-off game against Arsenal, and we came out and Paul took this free kick, and I remember running. If you ever see it on video of the game, I was actually running across as he about to take the free kick, trying to take some players away. And as he hit it, you just see me ducking. The ball sort of goes over the top of my head and goes right in the top corner. I mean, David Seaman had no chance. I mean, the power of the shot, the accuracy of the shot, and it just that started to sway the game our way. Some of the moves in that game that we made were incredible. I mean, the team really got a huge lift from Gazza's free kick, and I think that turned the game our way. After that, we believed in ourselves. We believed we could beat Arsenal. Of course, we wanted to stop them achieving the double as well. But no, it was a great semi-final. In fact, even today, when you speak to a lot of Spurs fans, you talk about 1991 and winning the cup, they remember the semi-final even more than the final.